Bill, how did you get started with all of your stuff? What was kind of the starting point? What's kind of your background on that?
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to perform. So like for birthdays and Christmas and everything, I'd always want magic tricks or a magic kit. Because I would want to do, my parents would they'd have dinner guests over, and then they'd ask, I would ask, can I do some magic? Yes, okay, Bill, come over here and do some magic tricks. So I'd do a couple of magic tricks. I would do impressions. I would do impressions of people I had never seen before, but people I had seen, Rich Little. I was like, man, people laugh at him because he does these people's voices. I'm going to learn how to do those voices and make people laugh.
Yeah.
So I would do my impression of Rich Little doing impressions of other people.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was in plays in high school and college. I went to the Second City in Chicago and studied at Second City. My first teacher was Stephen Colbert. And that's how I started doing comedy professionally. I went to the Second City, and it was my goal to get on one of the stages there. And then my first union job was a corporate gig for McDonald's, like a corporate video and industrial.
Yeah.
But then my first really big TV show was the Dana Carvey show.
So did you get that through Steven then?
No, we did wind up working together, but but at that point, Steven had already moved out of Second City. He had done Exit 57 with Amy Sedaris and Mitch Rouse, and so I wasn't in contact with him anymore. Steve Carell, I think he had left the main stage.
Oh, okay.
And I think he was trying to figure out what his next step was. And I was touring with the Second City Touring Company.
Oh, okay.
And I had already auditioned for Saturday Night Live. And Robert Smigel had seen my Saturday Night Live audition, and he saw me do my impression of Jackie Gleason taking a difficult crap. And Lorne Michaels hated it. But Robert Smigel loved it, and he loved it because also Lorne hated it. If anybody wants to take an improv class with me, go to the link in my bio and let me know that you're interested in taking improv classes. But Shaner Entertainment just asked, were you in The Ringer? Yes, I played Thomas in the movie The Ringer.
So good.
So my thing would be, if you're looking to be in that sort of a sitcom, 3-camera, live audience, then definitely go to a place like Second City, Groundlings, UCB. Someplace where you can get live comedy performance that isn't stand-up.
Yeah.
Stand-up skills transfer, but much more for a writer. But for a performer, you need to figure out how to set somebody up, how to pay off.
Yeah.
And so that would be the advice that I have, because if you're working there are situation comedies that are half hour, The Good Place and The Office, all of those that are single camera, in other words, shot like a film. In that case, the skills that somebody learns performing comedy at all those places still pays off, but it's a lot more subtle. So they need to start working on TikTok or working on a screen, so they're used to seeing how small they need to play it. And because sometimes if you play it too big, all of a sudden it doesn't look authentic. It doesn't look realistic. People need to be focused on booking the room and not booking the job. And what you did was you booked the room. If you made it several callbacks, that casting director will forever remember you, not just because they remembered you and then called you in.
Yeah.
Which shows that you have a vision and shows that you have goals and you're moving toward those goals. But the fact that you got called back, that's as good as you can do without actually booking it. So that casting director will remember you. More importantly, that director will remember you, and that director works all over the country, most likely, if they're shooting commercials.
Yeah.
Well, and guys, too, Bill was in Galaxy Quest.
The greatest movie ever.
Bonnie and I were just talking about...
Hammer, by the Sons of Warvan, I shall avenge you. I've been kind of branching out. I wanted to do more dramatic stuff.
Yeah.
I've done comedy roles. I've done a lot of comedy guest stars. So, I'd like to, if I do more comedy, I want it to be a leading role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's a dramatic role, I'm open to guest star dramatic roles. I want to do more dramatic roles. And, I've done a few dramatic roles, most of them smaller, like Dahmer was a small bit, and I was in a thriller called Mid-Century, and that was a smaller role. I got to play a creepy doctor, which was good.
Yeah.
Because usually I play creepy teachers. But it was interesting playing a character like that. It was a little bit darker, and then it wasn't a dark character, but it was definitely a very touching character on This Is Us, and I played the mailman on that, and that was a great dramatic role, but even then it was just a very small scene.
Yeah.
So I would like some larger dramatic roles.
Nice.
And some even larger comedic roles.
Cool.
100%.
Yeah. I remember the day I auditioned for that and everything. It was at the on Wilshire Boulevard. The building, it used to say Asahi. It used to be a big neon ad for Asahi on the top of the building.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell me in the script at all to do that. But in fact, I did something like that because I knew that was like a Roman salute. So I did like a cross thing. Like that.
Oh, like a Wakanda type of deal?
Yeah.
Before this Wakanda?
And nobody told me not to do that. I think I was before Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah. 20 years, yeah.
So when I went to shoot the thing, I started to do the same thing again because nobody told me. They said, oh, we're doing one-armed. And I was like, oh. So without ever being in the script, I knew there needed to be some sort of like salute
thing.
Yeah.
Assigned to the line. And also what I didn't know is that when they gave me the line to read was that was like a bastardization of the line as it's supposed to be read, which is "You shall be avenged" instead of "I shall avenge you."
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I read it the way it was written, and the joke, I didn't realize I was delivering a joke, which is that I'm supposed to be a huge fan, but I'm so nervous that I'm saying this famous line wrong.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It would be as if somebody went to Spock and was like, "Hey, live a long time."
What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
That was me with sketch writing. I feel like sometimes it's so hard to get, like, once I have the initial idea, it's great. But it's so hard to get that, like, initial, is this funny? Should I write this?
I think my tip on that is don't worry about whether it's funny, because it's hard enough to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
And like at Saturday Night Live, when they do their first pitch meeting, they're throwing out joke ideas. And I don't mean ideas for jokes. I mean ideas that they think aren't going to land.
Yeah.
When you come up with an idea, write it down and write as much of the sketch as you can, because the joke might be all of a sudden in a character's point of view, or the funny part, the relevant part might be in a game that develops in the script. When you're blessed enough to have an idea, write it down and start working on it. Give it a chance to fail before putting it away in a drawer somewhere. Don't ever doubt an idea, because that's what kept me from writing as much, I'm in the Writers Guild of America East from when I was a writer on Dana Carvey, and I never spent a lot of time writing after that because I had already had doors open to me that some people need to open for themselves by writing for themselves.
Yeah.
But, I should have written more, and I'm endeavoring to write more now, because I would always be like, does that person have such a freaking ego? That thing isn't funny at all, and they're pitching it. I'm like, that's just because they had an idea. It didn't have to be good. They had an idea when no one had an idea. It doesn't need to be a good idea. A studio can help make it better. A star can help make it better. A producer can help make it better. So, I need to get out there and start failing again. That's my goal in the new year. Fail harder.
Thank you. I like that.
Some people are worried about, that'll burn it for me, or somebody else will steal my idea.
Yeah.
They can't steal it. They can use it, but you put it out there first. So they can't stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
And chances are, the way the universe works, that your idea will be guided through to completion before they can do it.
Yeah.
And you've got documented proof that you came up with the idea first. So, and then sometimes that's even better.
Yeah.
So put it out there so that you can go, as you can clearly see on March the 3rd, I made a puke joke about Putin, and nobody had thought of that before.
Yeah.
And it's documented. Because this March 3rd, it came up on my on this day.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, sweet. Dude, thanks, Bill. That's awesome. That's good feedback.
All right.
I like it.